Hello, good morning. Trish Rock here. Just a few words I want to talk with you about this morning around social media, self-judgment, and possibilities. This morning, it occurred to me that over the past 10 years that I've been on social media, I've actually allowed it to influence how I show up, what I do, how I judge myself, how I restrict my possibilities. Some of you may not know, but for 28 years of my life, I was quite successful in the nail salon industry. I started at 17 and then had a baby and got married, and then at the age of 21, I found myself divorced, and I had my little son, and I kind of went off the rails a little bit with drugs and alcohol and just hanging around with the wrong people. There was a point there where it was a case of, I've changed this now or I'll probably die, right? So I got back into the nail business, and then a couple of years later, I owned my own business, and I had successful businesses then for quite a few years. I was Australian champion, zillions of trophies. All my staff had lots of trophies and wins at all the competitions. It was full of possibility. Now, social media wasn't around then, and well, not that I saw anyway. I think Facebook had just kind of begun, but the only way I judged myself then with my work was from when I went to shows, or I could see, what other people were doing. So therefore, I would get these inspired ideas and I would follow them through, because I had no social media in my face saying it wasn't possible, or showing me that someone had done it better, or showing me that I was probably not good enough. And that really is what built my business, because I didn't judge myself. I had an inspired idea, I would do it. Some of the creations I did on fingernails at these shows, some of the artwork was just spectacular, right? Because I believed in the possibility of executing my idea, and I did it, and I didn't have anything there around me saying I couldn't. And that made a really big difference. Now, it's been different to that over the last decade, and I think it's true for many of us. When we have an inspired idea, or when we want to change things around a bit in our life, when we want to try something new, we really, instead of saying to ourselves, yeah, you know what, I could do that, why don't I just give it a try, why don't I just see how it goes, we end up with all these visions of ways that we won't succeed. The self-judgment kicks in. I'm not as good as them, I'll never do it, oh, they've already done it, no point me trying. All these kinds of self-judgments, and it stops us from exploring the possibilities in our life. And every possibility already exists, right? And the only thing stopping you from stepping into some of those possibilities in your life is self-judgment and criticism. And when we criticize and self-judge, we're also doing that when we criticize other people, by the way, because we're all one. So we criticize someone else, we are actually criticizing ourselves. We criticize ourselves on things that we believe that other people have told us. And they're not even true for us. They're not even true. So what possibilities are you stopping yourself from moving forward with? Where are you criticizing yourself and judging yourself right now? And what are you saying? And is it even true? Or is it because somebody's told you that once and now you believe it to be true? Right? In that awareness, when you're judging yourself or when you have that self-talk, in that awareness, you can ask the question, is this really true? And you've got to remember also that social media isn't the entire life story of someone. So if you've got this inspired idea or you want to change your life up a bit, but then you go on social media and you think, oh, well, they're doing it so well, I could never do it that well, I'm just going to be a failure before I even start, then you're not giving yourself credit for how amazing you could be in that possibility. And you will be doing it differently than other people. And you've also got to remember that, as I said, that's not somebody's whole life story on social media. And they will also, in the background, most likely be struggling with their own self-criticism. And that's the personal growth that we all go through. So ultimately, my message today is, and it's a message for me as well, get back to following those inspired ideas. Get back to saying, yes, I can, instead of, ooh, there's no way. Right? Get back to running your own race and not allowing your race to be determined by the opinion of others who are in the lane next to you running their own race in their way. Run it your way, in your lane. Understand that all possibilities already exist. So if you have an inspired idea, you have the way and the means and the intelligence and the creativity and the resources to make it happen. You just need to take that first step, and then the next, and then the next. Keep your blinkers on with all that stuff out on social media that is screaming at you that you can't do it, right? Things were so different back then, and I don't really feel I would have had the same success in the nail salon industry as I had if social media had have been a big part of my life then, because before I even created a new design, I would have been beating myself up about it because somebody else would have a better one out there on social media. So I think, you know, my life would have been very different in those years if social media was around. But it can be different for all of us now with social media. We just need to separate ourselves from what other people are doing and run our own race. So that's my words of wisdom today. Run your own race. Know that you can do it. Every possibility already exists. And if you want change in your life, create the reality that suits you, right? Not the reality that is suiting somebody else that you see on social media. Run the reality that suits you and live your best life. Have an amazing day, and really be aware today of where you criticize yourself, where you judge yourself, and you know, turn that around and say, is that really true? Is that really true? Let me say hello to everybody who's here. Hey, Elizabeth. Oh, it's not even just the trolls though, Elizabeth. I'm not talking about the trolls. I'm just talking about life in general. You know, many times I've had an idea and I'm like, oh, okay, I need to create that. And then I get on social media and I see other people have created it far better than I can. And it stops me in my tracks when it shouldn't really. So I'm not talking about trolls. I'm talking about us judging ourselves and comparing ourselves to other people. And that is what restricts our possibilities. It's that self-judgment and criticism. Yeah, hey Tracy, hi Warren, hi Jamie. Oh, thank you Tracy. Hello Alexandra, hey Maggie, hey Trevor, hey Michelle, good morning. Hey Jonita. Oh, hey Catherine, hey Bobby, hey Juliana, hey Donna. Oh, so many beautiful people on this morning. Oh, you're welcome, Maggie. Oh, hello, Dagmar. All right, have an amazing day, everybody, and keep shining that beautiful light of yours. You are perfect in every way. Bye.